Hi everyone, and yeah, what's up, guys? Again, my name is Toby, and welcome to LalakingMahiwaga podcast. From Chamber of Euphoria, and or also to the lounge station from the lounge station. I would like to first of all, I would like to do a special greeting to Jazz. Yeah, happy birthday to you, Jazz. More birthdays to come, prosperity and health for you and your family, and hope you all, hope you all the best in life. Shout out to you. And also, I wanted to shout out to all of my avid listeners, especially to Lizel. Yeah, she's one of my avid listeners, and thank you for supporting my Spotify channel also to Marizan. Thank you guys for listening to my podcast episodes every day. And let's go ahead and get to the bottom of it. Like, yeah, Lalaki Mahiwaga, what is this episode all about? Um, yeah. So let me go ahead and um give you like a discussion which is sensible, a topic that we can actually talk about. So the topic that I actually have in my mind is 8 ways to create the love you want. Oh, is it possible, lalaki mahiwaga, like ways to create the love you want? Yes, it is. All right, but you need to do it, you know, and put some effort if you wanted to have this one. All right, let me tell you this, guys. All right, I want you to listen and pay attention of this one. This is a quote, okay, that I wanted to share sa inyong lahat. We waste time looking for the perfect lover instead of creating the perfect love. All right, now, to tell you honestly, while the essential phase of a relationship seems effortless, but the sublime chemical release of early love will only get us so far. Eventually, we want the partnership to endure. We have to roll up our sleeves and start to sweat. Now, here's the 8 ways to create the love you want. All right, I want you to pay attention about the details, and this is actually like good insights, learning that you will probably know if you're going to listen in this episode. Let's start with the number one. Understand the stages of relationship. Guys, relationships are ever evolving, changing organisms. You know, they take different forms over time. Essentially, right? There is romance, where like your brain is so flooded with dopamine that going grocery shopping together feels like a Caribbean cruise. Inevitably, though, like disillusionment happened when you may question if you have fallen out of love. Some are tempted to bolt and seek the dopamine spike with another partner. Often the illusionment morphs into sheer misery. Why? Because there's like the third stage of relationship might go where the two people who were once madly in love with each other feels nothing but resentment and contempt. If they manage to navigate around the various potholes of this stage, they arrive at awakening a deeper and fulfilling intimacy that even the essential romance. So it is important to understand the stages of relationship. What do I mean by that? All right, okay. Guys, understanding the stages of relationship is okay. How do I put this into words? Afterwards, all right. Knowledge, guys, is power. And when you know what to expect in a relationship, it helps you to stay prepared. All right. While not every relationship goes through six stages, but this is like commonly, you know, what we do. First of all is the euphoric stage. All right. Second is the early attachment. Third is crisis. Fourth is delusionment. Fifth is the decision. And then the sixth stage is the wholehearted love. Everything seems to be perfect in the first two stages, and then you guys actually develop like an adoration for each other. But after that, however, things will going to be spiraling out of control. Now the relationship is tested through the stages of crisis and disillusionment. Other people actually face their partner shortcomings, leading to a conflict, while many relationships break at the juncture, or those that decide to stay together reap the fruit of wholehearted love. But acceptance and not like judgmental attitude can help you sustain the relationship that might have otherwise crumbled. So it is really important to understand the stages of relationship. All right, let's go to the second one. What is the second one, Lalaki Mahiwaga? Okay, let's go ahead and go to the second one. Second is don't rely solely on your feelings. Yeah, exactly. All right. Why? All right, let me tell you this. Okay? Most of self-help books that you read is actually urge us to trust our feelings, all right? Like marami kayong mababasa ang like self-help books, blah blah blah, about not relying about your feelings or emotions. Yeah, there's like an urge, but the process of identifying our feelings and aligning them with action is critical part of self-growth. All right, but however, feelings can also be misleading. All right, madalas kasi ginagawa ng tao, if they were in love, they're actually basing on their feelings and emotion, and that feelings can also be misleading. All right, if like we actually relying on to our feelings, all right, that can actually cause you misleading. Malay mo infatuated ka lang dun sa tao, di ba? And that can actually one of the reason to mislead like a relationship. That's also like critical part of your self growth. Like because given their unpredictable and fickle nature, they're often not uh you know it's not like a reliable GPS for relationship. Alright, na talaga makakapunta ka dun sa patutunguhan na gusto mo. Alright? But if you're not careful, alright, they can take us down, alright, you know, to a dead end path. Alright? Because a committed relationship is a series of the decision rather than a collection of feelings. Alright? I'm gonna go ahead and repeat. A committed relationship is a series of decisions rather than collection of feelings. By making a daily decision to do what is required to sustain a relationship, we clear our brain of some of the interfering static that actually confuses us. This gives us more energy to love completely. I compare it to staying sober. If I relied solely on my feelings to determine my fate, I'd be drunk. Instead, I make conscious decision every 24 hours to pick up a drink. Okay? Ah, what other explanation? Like relying on your feelings actually is actually will disappoint you, because emotional decision making can affect and like make can affect not just like outcome of the decision but the speed of which you make it. For example, anger can lead to impatient and less rush decision making. If you're excited, you may like make decisions without considering the implication. As your surf of wave of confidence and being optimism about the future, it means that hindi ka nag-iisip ng mga rational answers or rational thinking decisions if you're just like relying on the emotion that you do have. Pero nga sinasabi, di ba, if you're happy, don't make promises. If you're anger, alright, don't let your anger actually win. Kasi meron tayong mga salitang hindi na nasasabi natin through that person na hindi natin inaasahan na masasabi natin. So don't solely rely on your emotions. That's what like what I meant on this second way. Now third one, understand yourself. Guys, this is really important to understand yourself. You know why? This is like an explanatory um what do you call this? This is self-explanatory. Like what do you mean by understand yourself? We all have baggage from the past that informs and shape us our behavior and conversations. Most of us have learned to protect ourselves from hurt and rejection with certain masks we wear. The caretaker, the clown, the bully, the perfectionist, identifying how previous wounds impact the way you relate to your partner can afford you a truer perspective on the relationship dynamics. Because with this understanding, you can approach problems more objectively and interact more fairly. Rewriting a narrative you learn in childhood is never easy and take time, but will lead to a more honest and deeper relationship. Because understand yourself, which is self-awareness, is the capacity to look inward and understand your own feelings, emotion, and stressor and personality. This key understand like a play a character a critical role in influencing our judgments, decision, and interaction with other people. So it is important to know and understand yourself. All right, fourth one. What is the fourth one? Oh, fourth one is, I think this is actually good ways also. You know, the fourth one is don't just talk, communicate. What do you mean by that? Okay, guys, don't just talk, communicate. Talking is good, all right, but it's only the beginning. True communication is much more involved than a simple conversation. It is a process of learning how to describe your emotions in detail to your partner so they have a shot of understanding the complex word between your fucking ears. All right? Why is talking not the same as communicating? Talking is uttering words with the goal of getting a message across. Alright? Sometimes it works, but sometimes it doesn't. Communicating refers to a one step further in the process, and it is actually the successful transmission of a message. Listening is very important part of effective communication. A good listener can encourage their partner to talk openly and honestly. Alright? Yeah. Ngayon, alam nyo na. During the retreat weekend, alright, let's say we picked, all right, from a thesaurus of adjective to describe our feelings. You know what thesaurus is, all right? You know that, right? Thesaurus is actually like synonyms and antonyms of words, all right? Sometimes it's called the synonym dictionary or dictionary of synonyms. Okay, because I do really read a lot of books, thesaurus, dictionary, a lot, encyclopedias. Now we used physical sensations, nature scenes, mental pictures, animals, movies, shared memories, and our five senses to express in vivid detail of the nuisance and complexities of our feelings. All right. While I thought this was a tad overkill at first, but the exercise proved like this is effective in communicating emotions to others, to your partner, and I assume that they will going to understood. That's how important it is. Number 5, take the risk, be vulnerable. Yeah, what do I mean by that? It's one thing to bear your soul under the influence of dopamine rush. It's like another when you're what do you call this, phased with disillusionment and doubt. But however, this is actually like precisely the time when you need to be brutally honest with your partner and lay your soul out for his gazing, or his or her gazing. Because the most important powerful session of the weekend for me was the one on what is required for trust, honesty, openness, and willingness to change. Trust means giving your heart to each other for their safekeeping, which can feel terrifying to someone whose past hurts remind them of the price of vulnerability. But however, it is the trust that pushes us to the final and the best stage of relationship where we awaken to an intimacy beyond our imagination. The risk of vulnerability, we may be hurt, laughed at, betrayed, criticized, shamed, bullied, or what made feel us guilty about our behavior. But we may fear that we will be viewed negatively as naive, immature, unintelligent, neurotic, or perverted in some way after revealing too much. That is the risk of vulnerability. All right. But of course, being vulnerable means being in a position where other people can hurt you. It is like often means expressing the side of yourself about which may have the least confidence or certainty and allowing others to respond to them. But to be more specific, guys, why is important to be vulnerable? Vulnerability actually fosters good emotional and mental health. Vulnerability is also a sign of courage. We became more resilient and brave when we embrace who we truly are and what we actually feel. Lastly, being vulnerable can help us foster better connection and relationships with others. All right. Okay, now let's go to the number 6. Don't shrink from confrontation. What do I mean by shrink confrontation? What what do you mean by that, Lalaki Mahiwaga? Okay, let me tell you this, okay? First of all, what does you don't shrink from, what does it mean? It's actually to avoid work duties, responsibilities, especially they are difficult or unpleasant. If you shirk your responsibilities or duty, all right, duty, like this, the situation will be much harder to deal with the next month. Like for example, if you have a work, all right, shirk is actually like to avoid work duties, responsibility, something like that, or unpleasant. Now, bakit ko yun pinapasok dito? All right, like bakit yun kasama like sa 8 ways? All right, um to create the love you want. It's simply because despite the way it feels, okay, confrontation is where the gold lies in a relationship. It can be tempting to what to either avoid or manipulate, but neither resolve the problem at hand. It's being like constructive. Create some ground rules to fight fairly. For example, don't bring up past history. Stay away from name calling. Don't go from the jugular, or stick to like I feel statements, something like that. All right, you might refer to like a thesaurus of emotions and express your feelings in writing. Refrain from difficult conversation when you're hungry, angry, tired, or what other things that you might do. All right, don't shrink from any confrontation. It means don't avoid, don't evade. All right, for those confrontations you need to talk. That's actually the six, because the number five, I mean the number four is actually don't just talk and communicate and then take the risk to be vulnerable. All right, this is like a steps, okay, a ways. Okay, what is the number seven? Let's continue on the number seven. What is the number seven, lalaki mahiwaga? Okay. Now number seven is learn his or her love language. We okay we all observe about affection differently. Like folding the laundry might say I love you more profoundly to your partner than reserving to a nice French restaurant or scrapbook memories that you spent a week on. According to me, all right, this is based on my what um my experience. Emotional needs are met in 5 ways. First, word affirmations, quality of time, receiving gifts, act of service, and physical touch. Those are the 5 languages. But learn your partner's love language so that you can communicate more appreciation and love most effectively. How to find out your love language, partner's love language? Guys, first of all, watch how those you care about express their affection. The first way to know someone's love language is to pay attention to how they show concern for you. Second, listen to the love language your partner speaks. Third one is observe how your partner respond. Fourth is ask directly. Okay? Are we clear about that? Yes, we are clear. Okay, that's good. That's great. But what is a love language? Let me just tell you this one, okay? The term love language actually refers to like a certain way that person prefers to express love to, or like and receive it from, like a partner. The term is now often used generally to refer to many different methods expressing love, but the concept and terms was introduced. I think that was like um, like I mean, two, early 2000. Yeah, should you learn your partner's love language? Um, of course, why not? Like understanding our partner's love language can help with increasing connections, enhancing appreciations, improving communication and intimacy. Like Knowing our partner's love language also assists with preventing problems in the relationship by managing expectation on what it is actually means to be loved. And I think that's important to a relationship. Yep. The last one. All right. Forgive and forgive some more. You can you come to love, all right, not by finding the perfect person, but seeing an imperfect person perfectly. We are all imperfect. When two people spend enough time together, they are bound to love each other. That transgression isn't as important as the rebound. While you can hate the sin, try to love the sinner. Do your best to separate the awful things that your partner did from the imperfect, lovable person she is or he is. Trust that she or he is trying her best, his best to learn from his mistakes, and do better next time. Again, my name is Toby, and thank you for listening to Lalaki Mahiwaga podcast for this episode 8 Ways to Create the Love You Want. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Sayonara, Mina.